Well, see, Cenk's grandpappy, the only good man alive back in those dark days, single-handedly gunned down all those awful, neck-bearded dude bros in the government and gave women their God-given votes. On a field of blood, guts, and dead men, he planted the glorious flag of women's suffrage. Oh, he was a grand fella, he was. He set off for work at the Widows' and Orphans' Home that morning, after tying an onion to his belt, because that was the style at the time. He came across a wilting white lady being menaced by a horrible, mean, oppressive male policeman of the masculine kind in front of a burning train station. Well, she was wailing and fussing and fretting and clutching her pearls, and he offered her his onion to cheer her up, even though he'd look silly and unfashionable without it. She spun him a tale of oppressions and depredations like no tomorrow. That copper kept saying she was under arrest for lobbing firebombs, and Cenk's grandpappy asked that delicate petal of womanhood if she'd done thrown one of them firebombs. She said, "Fiddlesticks and gumptions, I sure did. This government deserves what it gets if it's going to deny me my God-given right to vote to send you off to war." She held up her sign that read, "Votes for Women's," and he was smitten. Then and there he wrestled that copper into submission, raining blows and blows down upon his neckbeard and his body, so the lovely lady could escape. Then he marched himself down to the Capitol to give the government what for. On the grounds he came across a grizzly bear stood 8 foot tall on 4 legs, 12 foot on 2. It wore a banner that said, "Never shall a woman vote in these United States." That's when Cenk's grandpappy used his guile. He let that bear bear down on him, and then he shoved his fist as far up his maw as he could. His arm done got torn up, but he stood the pain like any good man on a mission for a woman should. And soon enough the beast smothered and fell to earth like a brick wall under a load of dynamite. Next he charged into the Senate chambers where all the men, being the powerful sort, were busy whoring and drinking and eating opium and waxing their mustaches and making women do things no pure white woman would ever consent to do. He slammed the doors open and demanded women be given their divine right to vote. Every one of those villains on the Senate floor drew, but Cenk's grandpappy was faster than all of them. He gunned 'em down one by one until all was left was one lowly senator from North Carolina. It was that senator, staring down the smoking barrel of Cenk's grandpappy's gun amid a field of the dead and dying, who signed the woman's suffrage into law. And that's the story of how Cenk Uyghur's grandpappy was the one good man who would have given the women the vote.